he disengages from all of you, and he rushes over to the alchemical table, throws it at the three of you.
Oh, dear.
The haft of your axe ends up melting away.
Oh no!
Just
I've had that axe ever since I was a boy.
Yeah, you hit him it's like almost like a spinal tap, just bah!
Yes.
And you end with your hand locked around his throat. He throws you backwards. Your head hits the pillar first, and you see the entire structure start to shake just from the sheer impact of the force of him throwing you. That's his turn. He's now emerging back on his feet. Go ahead.
Is it mine?
It's yours.
Now, even through all of this, have I noticed that his axe has melted?
Yeah, definitely.
But the head of the axe is still about.
The head of the axe is still on the ground.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and use that to my advantage. I will cast a spell of levitation, bringing it up to about head level.
Okay.
And then I will telekinetically force this axe forward at great speed as an impromptu missile weapon against the werewolf.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
Psychic weaponry.
That is a 19 in total.
Okay, yeah, your strike is true. Yeah. So you lift the axe blade. It wobbles for a moment, and then it kind of begins to rotate.
Oh yeah.
A spinning blade and silver blade in the middle of the air, and boom! All of a sudden it zooms forward at blinding speed. And where does it strike him?
This is going to be squarely between the eyes and muzzle.
Okay. Yeah, so it hits right there, and the silver just completely bypasses any of his bestial defenses, splitting his face into this like horrid, almost bisected thing. And you see him. Go ahead and roll damage normally for the axe.
So a D12?
Is it a D12?
So it'd be a D12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right here.
He's going to be rolling your damage.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
4.
Okay, so that's normally what your axe would do. So that is quite a bit. Wow. Okay. So as it hits his face, his legs wobble and he drops to the ground.
Just goes full sack of potatoes.
Yeah, like a sack of
Tumble.
potatoes.
Well, that was rather barbaric. I expect something like this from Dagmore, but Maethel, come on.
Well, I mean, I learned from the best.
Ah, wonderful.
I thank you for giving my childhood friend such a fitting end between the eyes of a
When we get back to
werewolf.
town, we'll get it all refitted.
We'll get you a brand new one.
Well,
How's
isn't
that?
this reward predicated on the head being brought back?
So we should get double. It's 2.
Ah! And it's mostly intact, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, and the books are still intact.
That is,
Right.
at this point, I've lost interest in conversation, and
Right.
I've toddled my way over, and I'm
the
reading
books.
books. So, yeah.
Okay. And you guys approach the fallen werewolf.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So as you guys kind of hunker down to get ready to do this grisly sort of process to get your proof, both of the werewolf's hands lunge at your throats.
I had no suspicion this would happen.
You were not prepared.
No. I'm dumb. I'm an orc.
Yeah, and completely unawares, your rage, I'm sure, has faded at this point.
Yes.
Slightly
Because
subsided.
I'm pretty chill.
so yeah.
Where?
So as you can't speak at this point, and slowly squeezing the life from you guys.
I have
what do you do?
no idea what's it. You guys
No,
can't
and the
yeah,
wizard
call
off to
out.
the
I'm
side
just
is
got my
kinda
back
like,
turned. I'm like, oh, this is very interesting.
I'm going to use the dagger that I have on my belt always with the symbol from his sister on it, and I'm going to jab it into his chest. Fitting.
Okay. All right. So you do so with the remaining strength that you have. You jab it into his chest, and he kind of makes this like guttural sound, and you feel the grip slowly weaken, and he drops you, and he drops to the ground.
He wanted the knife back.
You got it.
I'm gonna turn around and be like, gentlemen, I say, have you read this book? It's amazing. I've never read this one before.
Well, I'm glad you found something new. We just nearly died again.
Why? What? Huh?
It wasn't quite
quite
dead.
Well, you always have to check these things.
Jinx.
Double tap, as I say.
I owe you its head.
Ah.
Okay. If you guys have no more business within this room, you emerge.
I would like to use the knife to skin it
Okay.
and make sure I have the proof that is necessary.
Okay.
Is it still wolfy? Or does it kind of turn back into a man?
It is still wolfy. It is going to be forever trapped.
Okay. Because otherwise, that would be.
That would have been even
yeah, a
worse,
little
but
weird,
at
yeah.
the same time, more glorious.
So yeah, you remove its head. It is now a fine trophy in order to go claim your reward.
Awesome. So now all we have to do is get this thing back to town, and we're rich.
Yeah.
Party.
I dig it.
Then we'll party.
I don't assume that we'll keep this money for long. I've got to restock on arrows, as a lot of mine have been shattered, and then we need to get you a new axe.
New axe.
On us, I think.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah. So you have a bit of a journey ahead of you, and the land is still infested with dark creatures who may spring up to try and claim your life. But you guys feel confident that you can deal with any threat that comes your way.
We'll rise to the challenge, I think.
Nothing we can't handle.
All right. That's all I have really planned for you guys.
Excellent. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a
And
lot of fun.
thank all of you guys.
Thank you,
for
yeah.
coming in
It was
and
a
doing
great
this
time.
with us. Yeah.
Good game, guys.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah.
You guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh!
All right.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Question.
One of those stories?
Can I tell you one of those stories? Oh
yeah,
man.
what's your favorite D&D memory? And we could dim
let's
the
see.
lights, get us
Oh man.
dim the lights and zoom in on his face.
Oh man, my favorite one. Okay, so normally all the players are like a team, right? And they're fighting against basically the dungeon masters controlling the monsters. The players are the heroes. Well, sometimes you have the story twist in a certain way where one of the players becomes the bad guy, and you have him controlling the monsters. And that happened with me. That was kind of interesting. We were it was a low fantasy campaign, kind of like we're exploring this old ancient castle, trying to find and kill a vampire that was kind of corrupting the land. And so we were down in the catacombs, this dark, stinking, dusty catacombs, and we just happened to stumble upon not the vampire, but just some servant maybe of him, and a thrall, yeah. And he ended up taking over my wizard character's body, and so he turned me evil. And so at that point, the dungeon master handed me a new character sheet with all of these awesome like wizardly abilities, and I became a lich, is what it's known as. It's an undead spellcaster. It's like a zombified spellcaster. And he was like, okay, you are now a lich. Please destroy the party as best you can. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much fun.
And then he went out and made some coffee.
No.
Like he took a 10.
He just kind of sat back, and I think he was sipping a beer or something like that. He was just kind of smirking to himself because he didn't have to be in that role anymore. That was a lot of fun to use that power against the party that I had been traveling with for so long, and I knew them really well, all their strengths and their weaknesses and
Sounds like
that.
a
So
betrayal.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was.
Wow.
The betrayal was fun, and everybody had a good time with it. Yeah. That was
Some nice
the most memorable
betrayal.
down home. That's home cooked betrayal right there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, very nice to meet you, man.
It's nice to meet you too, man.